recipe for cherry liqueur. It is cherry season, it's July, and this recipe will take 6 months to cure, so this liqueur will be ready just in time for Christmas. You want to start with the ripest Bing cherries that you can find. I was fortunate enough to pick some black wild cherries from a friend's orchard, but regardless of where you get the cherries, make sure that they are sweet and they are very, very ripe. The next thing you want to do is you want to lightly rinse off your cherries and remove the stems. Don't overdo it with the water because you don't want to wash away all the juices, and you want to leave the cherries whole. So the pit is in the cherry. You do not remove it because that becomes part of the flavor of the cherry liqueur. That's it. So let's get started. You want to pour your cherries whole into your jar, and you're going to fill it up. You can fill it up as much as you like, but I've got a large family, so I'm making a lot of liqueur. I'm going to fill it up about 3/4 of the way. So that's a little bit less than 3/4 of the way. And I'm going to use 1/2 cup of sugar. The sugar is really how sweet you want the liqueur. You can use more, you can use less, you can use none. So I'm going to put in my 1/2 cup of sugar, and then I'm going to use vodka, and I'm using vodka because it's flavorless. So you don't want to, I mean, you can use any kind of liqueur you want, but obviously you're not going to get the full cherry flavor by using something that has another flavor. So a clear vodka, whatever you can find, and then you're just going to stir it, and just stir it with a chopstick. Stir it to dissolve the sugar. Then you are going to put a lid on it, which is right here. The only thing you have to make sure, because everybody's going to have a different size jar, is just make sure the fruit is 3/4 of the way up. Fill it with your liquor, just so it's covering the fruit and not exposing it, so you're not getting anything else added in there. Your sugar, and then you're going to close it, and then you're going to put it in a dark, cool place for 6 months. Now for the first couple of weeks, every time you go by, just give it a shake. And just do this whenever you remember it. It's not mandatory. So after 6 months, you're going to take your jar and you're going to dispense the liqueur into a bottle. Now this is the liqueur I made 2 years ago, and I simply just poured it through. Get yourself a pretty bottle, and you've got yourself cherry liqueur. Now this liqueur that I made it using vermouth, so sweet vermouth, and it has a slightly different flavor, but it's also nice. So if you're not a fan of vodka, you certainly can use vermouth. Now I'm going to show you what the two liqueurs look like. So this is from 2 years ago. I think you can see how dark and red the color is. And this is my vermouth. This is going to be a little challenging. Oops. It's slightly lighter, and the flavor is different. So 2 years ago, it's sensational. I don't think you can get a richer cherry flavor than that. The vermouth is lighter, and it has a little bit of a woodsy flavor. So either or are really good, and I know that you're going to enjoy it. Now, if you don't drink liqueur on its own, then I would recommend making a cherry martini. So all you do, you're gonna need a strong arm. You're gonna need some ice. An ounce of vodka. I'll use this. It's about an ounce of cherry liqueur. A squeeze of lime. It just gives it that little bit of sour note, which is inherent to cherries. And then you're just gonna add, as I like to call, a schmidgen, or a half a cupful of dry red vermouth. Shake her up. Just really good. And pour it out into your martini glass. I'm going to garnish it with those cherries that I had left over for my first batch. You don't want to throw them away because they're full of liquor, and you can use them in cocktails. If you take the pits out of them, you can use them in fruit cakes. So that's a little garnish with a little lime. This is really good. It's delicious. So enjoy your martini, and I will enjoy having a nap. So I hope you enjoyed the recipe. You have to try it. It is so good. On a last note, cherries on their own are excellent for kidney and heart health. They are full of potassium. They also have vitamins A, C, vitamin K and B6, and they have very, very strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And that, of course, is cherry juice without the vodka in it. So enjoy!